the chase and the hunting. I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything. I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so on, you're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong, you will never see me crack. And if you
Hello, all you beautiful people. Good to see y'all. Hope y'all are doing well on this hump day. Thank you guys so much for being in here. If y'all haven't hit the like, please do so. Share it out and subscribe, because this is one of our mental health and well-being lives. So, hello, Red Eye Patriot. Good to see you. I don't know if you're still in here or not, but I hope you're doing well. Yes, please come back through and say hello if you're able. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're doing good, honey. All right. I thought this was a very good live. It just kind of came across my head, and I was like, oh, I know a lot of people might go through this or might live with it. So I thought this was very good information to go over. So it says what we're going to be talking about tonight is coping with regret or living with regret. Tonight, we're going to be talking about and going over coping with regret or living with regret. Let's try our best to live our life to the fullest and not have any regrets. All prayers, Lisa, honey. I hope you feel better, sweetheart. Take you some medicine, honey. Hopefully that'll help you. All right, so let's get up the information, guys. And these are not massively long lives, but I definitely wanted to go over some of this with y'all. Okay. Hello, Tony. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. All right. Just a second. All right. This is from Psychology Today. How to deal with regret. Discover the science behind regret and how to deal with regrets in your life. Regrets of inaction are stronger and persist longer than regrets of action. Americans' 6 biggest regrets involve in education, career, romance, parenting, self-improvement, and leisure. Regret motivates us to correct our behavior. Have you ever done something, said something, or not done something that you regret? You're not alone. Everyone has regrets about things in life. The question is, what can we do about it? How do we live a life with fewer regrets, and how do we deal with the regrets we already have? Hello, Beagle Mom. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well. In this article, we'll explore these questions, but first, let's define regret. Regret is a self-focused negative emotion about something that has happened or been done by us. We feel bad because we did or didn't do something we believe we should or shouldn't have done. Giving regret involves acknowledging our role in our present circumstances. It also often includes self-blame. That was Rose and Somerville, 2005. The opposite of regret may involve a feeling of remorselessness and satisfaction over having made the right decision for us. Maybe the airplane we're supposed to get on crashes and we feel an overwhelming sense that the decision we made not to fly was correct. Or maybe we break up with our romantic partner and quickly meet the love of our life. In these situations, we see how our past actions lead us to the positive place we are now. What leads to regret? A recent meta-analytic study aimed to look across several studies on regret to see what the most common causes of regret are. The research showed that Americans' 6 biggest regrets involve education, career, romance, parenting, self-improvement, and leisure, like we just talked about a few minutes ago. Less frequently reported regrets included finance, family, health, friends, spirituality, and community. Examples of common regrets include the following: missed educational opportunities, failure to seize the moment, not spending enough time with friends and family, missed romantic opportunities, rushing into something too soon, unwise romantic adventures. 2 key things that lead to regret are the following. Number 1 is opportunity. Thank you so much, Tony. I appreciate that. Ironically, the more opportunity one experiences, the greater chance for regret. If opportunities are denied or out of reach, we may experience anger or frustration, but we don't usually experience regret. On the flip side, when we are given opportunities, it's up to us to take advantage of these opportunities or not. Researchers speculate that this is the reason why education is something many people regret. We can always go back to school, so it's easy to regret not doing it. Number 2, more options. And another ironic twist, having more options often leads to more regret. Instead of enjoying the things we have, we are aware that there are many other options that we didn't choose. And this gives us more chances for regret. This paradox of excessive choice actually makes us less happy and more regret prone. What do we regret? Research shows that actions versus inactions produce more regret in the short term. For example, we might feel regret for saying something embarrassing or agreeing to do an annoying task for someone else. But these experiences of regret pass rather quickly. The things we're most likely to regret are the things we didn't do. Regrets of inaction are stronger and persist longer than regrets of action. So if we feel we should have taken that trip, should have asked the person out, or should have gone to college, these regrets likely last longer than regrets of having done something we might rather have not done. Things like we shouldn't have come to this party, shouldn't have taken this job, shouldn't have gone on a date with this person, etc. What is the purpose of regret? Regret but motivates us to correct our behavior so that we don't have to feel this negative emotion anymore. But it seems that we may be more willing to correct our regrettable actions than our regrettable inactions. When we've made a bad decision, we're already acting, and researchers suggest it may be easier to change course once already in motion. Perhaps this is why many of us correct past mistakes, example, by getting a divorce, quitting a job, removing ourselves from an unrewarding friendship, etc. But we find it more difficult to take that first step towards changing our lives in positive ways. That's why I always, even though I deal with a bunch of hell, and I know a lot of people do in this world, I try to live as positive as I can. How to deal with regret. Here are a few tips to reduce regret in life. Practice acceptance. Accepting negative emotions like regret may help decrease these negative emotions. Map past regrets to further future action. Consider taking some time to make a list of your regrets, both actions and inactions. For each one, note down anything you've done to correct your behavior and reduce the likelihood of future regrets like this emerging. Ask yourself, will I regret it? Before deciding to do something or not to do something, see if you can figure out which one decision is more likely to result in regret. Based on the research, it seems that not only something is usually the more regrettable action. So say yes to life as often as you can, but don't sell yourself short, guys. Don't sell yourself short. You can't do everything, and people shouldn't expect you to do everything. You know, you're human. You can only do what you can, you know. In sum, regret is a common emotion that occurs when our behavior results in undesirable outcomes. Given regret is a natural, normal, and even healthy response that helps us change our behavior. We are best served by learning to work with regret and use it to help us change our lives in the ways we desire. All right, that's the first one, guys. Oh my goodness, why in the world did it do that? Hold on a minute, guys. Okay, there we go. This one is also from Psychology Today. Intelligence, 5 tips for coping with regret. You don't need to feel scared or of regrets if you know how to cope. It's normal to experience large and small regrets, so regrets isn't an emotion you need to be scared of. Here are some tips for coping when it happens. Ditch, I'll never do that again thinking. When we regret something, the feeling isn't usually about a mistake we've made for the first time. Rather, we more often feel regret over falling into our common self-sabotaging past patterns. You might regret staying up watching YouTube until midnight because you end up feeling exhausted at work all of the next day. You wish you'd gone to bed at 10 p.m. instead. Hello, Criminal Man. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you are well, love. Or maybe you'll regret letting yourself get over hungry or overtired, and that decision leading to eating 2/3 of a large bag of potato chips, which, in my opinion, a large bag of potato chips ain't a lot because they fill more than half of it with air. If you've fallen into certain traps dozens of times before, it's not likely that you'll never do those things again. Instead of vowing to never make the same mistake again, acknowledge that you need strategies for gradually improving your habits or limiting the negative consequences when you have failures of self-control. Number 2, acknowledge what you're feeling. People love to say, I have no regrets, but that's not very realistic and probably not true. Like any negative emotion, regret is a common experience and one that we're designed to be able to psychologically cope with. When you acknowledge your emotions instead of denying them, it helps prompt you to think about strategies you could use to minimize the pain of future experiences of that emotion. Also, specifically identifying which emotion you're feeling, that is, acknowledging, I feel regret, rather than just thinking, I feel bad, will help make tolerating the emotions you're experiencing feel more manageable. Hello, Summer. Good to see you, love. I hope you're doing well, darling. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Make sure you guys hit the like, share it out, and subscribe if y'all haven't done so. I truly appreciate you guys being in here. When you regret something major, like having worked too much when your children were little, having stayed in a bad relationship too long, or having started late with retirement investing, try keeping that in mind that regret is a universal human emotion. No matter what some people will claim about themselves, we're all, I'm going to say this again, guys, because my washer's going, so yeah, it's probably going to be loud. We're all imperfect. I always say this, I always say that at the end. Nobody's better than nobody. We're all imperfect. You don't need to create a silver lining out of every situation. Sometimes regret is just regret. Sorry, guys, if y'all are hearing my wash machine in the background. It's off balance and it makes all kinds of racket when it spins. Number 3. Summer, you're a hoot. Number 3, believe in your capacity to grow. Regret can cause us to become excessively hesitant or avoidant. Regret about a failed relationship may lead you to avoid dating. Or regret about a poor financial decision may lead you to put investing in your too hard basket and avoiding it completely. Just because you made some less than ideal decisions doesn't mean you're doomed. Hey, 426 Hemi. I hope you're doing well, honey. Good to see you. You're doomed to permanent failure in any one area. Number 4, look for little thinking hacks to help you with your patterns. Shifts in your thinking can help prevent you from repeating the same mistakes quite so often. Author Gretchen Rubin has a great tip. If you regret staying up so late, try thinking about going to sleep early as a treat. It's common to think of staying up late and enjoying some personal time as a treat. But think about it. So is heating your bed and enjoying all those immensely comforting sensations. Will this sort of thinking shift stop you from ever staying up late watching TV or mucking around on your computer? Probably not, but it might shift your behavior in some instances. It's far easier to find simple hacks for improving your behavior than it is to completely eradicate problem habits. The Happier Podcast is a great source of ideas for thinking shifts related to the sorts of everyday struggles many people experience. If your regrets relate to how you prioritize, try these tips for focusing on the important, not just the urgent. Number 5, give yourself an appropriate time, amount of time to absorb your feelings. To cope effectively with regret, a subtle balancing act needs to happen. Ruminating isn't helpful, but neither is attempting to just brush your feelings aside. Try this. This is like an example, and I like it when they put these because it kind of makes you think. Think about a small regret. For example, you didn't double check that you had your Costco card before leaving the house and got all the way to the store without it. That type of regret is something you want to give yourself a few minutes to absorb. If you feel frustrated with yourself and self-critical, those things will naturally dissipate pretty quickly on their own. If you have a larger regret, example, you painted your house a color you don't actually like just because the color was trendy, then it might take a few weeks or months for those feelings to dissipate. That they'll ebb and flow and will likely pop up and bug you periodically. In both examples, the more you can leave your emotions alone to just work themselves out, the better. If feelings of regret pop up and bug you intermediately, you can cope with that. At a point I discuss in my book, The Healthy Mind Toolkit, is that human emotions are a signaling system. A traffic light isn't useful if either red or green are permanently lit. The light is only a useful signal if it changes to give you information. Emotions are like that too. They're designed to come on and then go away. When emotions become sticky, it's usually because we're feeding them in some way through rumination, harsh self-criticism, or avoidance. If you allow your emotions to naturally work themselves out, that's often more efficient and effective than trying to do something to make them go away, which can easily backfire. Hello, Ken. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Hello, Chris. Good to see you. Hope you're doing good, my friend. All right, guys. Make sure you guys smash the like button if y'all haven't done so. I really appreciate it. Self-improvement, how to get over regrets and move forward. Give me just a second, guys. It always does this to me. Well, thank you so much, Ken. I'm going to stop the screen and just read it to you guys what I'm looking at, because for some reason this one, well, maybe not. Hold on 1 minute. Maybe it won't pop back up. I hope not. Okay, fingers crossed it don't pop back up. Well, dang it. Give me just a second, guys. I hate these stinking pop-up thingies. All right. When we feel disappointment and sorrow over what might have been, or we wish we could change a choice we made in the past, we have regrets. Like I was just saying a few minutes ago, nobody is perfect. We all have our flaws, but we just try to... Absolutely, Chris. Absolutely. We just try to do the best we can, guys, and be a difference. I got to put that up. Hitting the like button is like hitting the like button is like shaking hands when you see a friend. Absolutely. Or giving a hug or something like that, because I'm a big hugger, guys. If y'all ever met me in person, I'm a massive hugger. You're fine, Ken. You're fine. Working on a video for an artist spotlight on my channel. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Often a sense of shame accompanies our regrets. As these feelings are so uncomfortable, we avoid them at all costs. Or endless regret always stays with us. In the latter case, regret might haunt us and prevent us from progressing. For example, maybe you worked too much while your children grew up. Consequently, they're not close to you and you are filled with regret about it. You feel stuck because your kids and your grandchildren aren't in touch. You blame your past actions. Letting go of regret for your mental, emotional, and physical health. Learn more about how regrets are harmful, the positive side of regrets, what our most intense regrets are, how to stop thinking about regrets, and ways to get over regrets and move forward. How regrets are harmful. Regrets can be harmful when we don't want to accept them. For example, maybe you didn't defend your friend who was accused of saying something derogatory. You didn't speak up at the time to clear their name. You push down the feelings of guilt and embarrassment because they are unpleasant. You end up feeling disappointed in yourself and don't want to be reminded of the incident. Or you remember the situation all too well but don't know how to overcome your regret. And imaging studies reveal that when we regret, increased activity takes place in the area of the brain called the medial orbitofrontal cortex. I'm probably saying that wrong, guys, but I tried. Regret can have adverse effects on your mind. Various psychological problems result from regret. Repetitive negative thought patterns and constant rumination can lead to stress, anxiety, and depression. This kind of mental and emotional pain also affects our bodies. Oh, you're the guilt queen. Nuns are taught guilt. Wow. A recent study shows another negative effect self-blame has on our bodies. Scientists find that inducing self-blame leads to increases in shame and guilt, as well as increases of pro-inflammatory cytokine activity. According to Cleveland Clinic, inflammation is a symptom of many diseases like arthritis, cancer, and heart disease. The positive side of regrets. When we reflect on regrettable choices we made in the past, that's a good thing. We grow from reflection and can learn from our missteps. Inspired to be better, we improve on our decision making so we don't repeat our mistakes. Another positive aspect of regret is that it can move you closer to being your best self. A study about people's most enduring regrets was published in a journal Emotion, where scientists looked at the connection between regret and an individual's self-concept. Hello, Shockwave. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're well. The results showed people acted more quickly to cope with regrets when they fell short in their duties and responsibilities than when they fell short in their goals and aspirations. The only thing I feel guilt for is escaping the convent. I hear you, honey. Therefore, regrets are about ideal selves were not resolved. People were more likely to regret not living up to being that ideal person and using their full potential. What are our most intense regrets? In the first study to analyze key predictors in a single model, scientists looked at factors that affect the intensity of regret over a lifetime. They found that people have a greater frequency of regrets about the lack of inaction they took in their lives. Yet when these individuals reviewed their life paths, the intensity of regrets about inaction did not cause greater grief. People felt more intense regret about the actions they did take. And looking at the actions, scientists discovered that the intensity of regret was greatest in this order. Shockwave said, enduring regret, trusting someone I knew as a kid to be on the downfall of my love for life, and to used to be so happy to the point I don't think I'll ever get it back. Bam, pretty honest. It's okay, Shockwave. One day at a time. Huh, Criminal Med said buying a cacao or regret. And looking at these actions, scientists discovered the intensity of regret was greatest in this order. Number 1, about decisions that broke participants' own life's rules, about decisions related to social life domains rather than non-social domains, about decisions that lack justification. I really don't know how long this is, guys. Drive off the lot. You already. If this one's really long, if it's not too long, then I'll play it. I'm just not really for sure how long it is, guys. Says The Power of Regret with best-selling author Daniel Pink. Hello, Mama P.I. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you are well, my darling. All right, guys. I don't think it is very long. If it's too massively long, we'll stop it. But you guys let me know, because I would like to hear this as well, and we can hear it together. You guys let me know if y'all can hear it okay. All right.
Welcome to the Very Well Mind podcast. We've interviewed over 100 authors, experts, entrepreneurs, athletes, musicians, and others to help you learn strategies to care for your mental health. This episode is hosted by psychotherapist and best-selling author Amy Morin.
Can y'all
now
hear
let's
it?
get into the episode.
Do you have any huge regrets in life? Do you try to convince yourself that you actually don't regret anything? Do you go to great lengths to avoid doing anything that you might regret later? If so, you're going to want to hear today's show. I'm talking to New York Times bestselling author Dan Pink about his new book, The Power of Regret. Some of the things he talks about are the most common regrets people have, the best strategies for coping with regret, and how to use your regrets to create a better life. Make sure to stick around until the end of the episode for the therapist take. It's the part of the show where I'll break down Dan's strategies and talk about how you can apply them to your own life. So here's Daniel Pink on how your regrets can actually help you grow mentally stronger. Daniel Pink, welcome to the Very Well Mind podcast.
I am glad to be with you.
I am super excited about your new book, The Power of Regret. I have no doubt that it's going to help a lot of people. Regret is something that we don't talk much about. So, but before we dive into it, maybe we should have you define it. What does it really mean to have regret?
Well, regret is an emotion, and it's an emotion that involves looking backward and thinking, if only I hadn't made that stupid choice. If only I hadn't taken that path. If only I hadn't made that decision. So it's backward looking and unpleasant. And it makes us feel bad. And that's one reason we try to avoid it. But if we deal with it right, it can actually help us out quite a bit.
So I'm a therapist. It's an issue that we deal with often in the therapy office. People will say things like, I was thinking about moving, or I was thinking about taking on this new job, but I don't want to do it because I'm afraid I'm going to regret it. Can you talk a little bit about that anticipation of regret, the fear of feeling regret?
Yeah, that's a really interesting topic. And there's a lot of research on that. And exactly as you say, Amy, one of the things that we see with anticipating our regrets is that if we do that too much and in the wrong way, we end up making very risk-averse, self-protective decisions. And so while it's helpful to anticipate your regrets, that anticipating your regrets properly can steer our behavior. It's sort of like, I think of anticipated regrets as like a drug that should come with a warning label. It's useful for some things, but it has a downside. And one of the big downsides is that it makes us risk-averse. To me, one of my favorite examples of that is the advice on people switching answers on a multiple choice test. Like when I was a kid, people always said, go with your first instinct. Don't switch answers. And what the research tells us is that when you switch answers, you're more likely to get it right. But the reason we don't switch is that we can more easily imagine regretting switching from a right answer to a wrong answer than we can with sticking with a wrong answer. Sticking with a wrong answer, it's like, oh, I didn't really do anything. Going from a right answer to a wrong answer is like, oh my God, that would be the worst thing that could ever happen. And so we end up making the wrong decision.
And you did tons of research for this book, and you discovered that people are more likely to regret the things that they didn't do rather than the things they did, right?
Sure, that's in the research that I did. It's also a pretty sturdy finding in the rest of in 50 years of psychological literature, and this is particularly true as people age. Younger people tend to have often more or less equal numbers of action regrets. I regret what I did, and inaction regrets. I regret what I didn't do. But as people age, inaction regrets totally dominate.
Why do you think that is? That the older we get, the more we think I should have done that.
I think that it's a great question. I think there are a number of reasons for it. One of them is that action regrets sometimes are easier to resolve. So let's say that I have hurt somebody or...
Guys, this is like 30 plus minutes long, but we're going to listen to just a few more minutes of it, if that's okay with y'all. But if y'all want to go in there and listen to it, I'll put it in right now, guys, while I'm thinking about it, because if not, I will forget. If y'all want to go in there and listen to all of it. Hello, Rift. Good to see you, my brother. Hope you're well. I will put it in the chat. We'll listen to a few more minutes of it, and then I will continue reading, guys. I did not know it was like 30 plus minutes long, but we'll listen to a few more minutes of it. But like I said, the link is in the chat. If you guys want to go hear all of it, you're more than welcome to.
Offended somebody, or maybe done even something worse than that, I can try to make amends. I can try to apologize. I can try to restore that person. And that can kind of extinguish the inaction regret. But if I regret that I never started a business, that I stayed in a lackluster job and never started a business, that's not going to get resolved anytime soon. And so it sticks with us. And a lot of the regrets, the core regrets, a lot of them go to inaction. Particularly these regrets of boldness, not starting a business, not asking somebody out on a date, not traveling, not speaking up. Those are the things that really, really stick with people.
Interesting. So when you were doing your research, what kind of regrets did you find people had? What were some common ones, things people said, I shouldn't have done that, or
oh my Lord. Okay. So what happened? So for part of the research here, what I did is I collected regrets from around the world. I ended up gathering about 16,000 regrets from 105 countries. It's nuts.
Wow.
I couldn't believe I ended up with so many of them. And as I started going through them, what I discovered is that over and over again around the world, people had the same 4 core regrets. And these were irrespective of the domain of life. So we tend to think about regrets in the domains of life. So that's like, oh, it's a career regret, it's an education regret, it's a romance regret. But deep down, there was something else going on. So one regret was what I call foundation regrets. Those regrets are, if only I'd done the work. And these are a lot of people who regret not saving money, not taking care of their health, smoking, not working hard enough in school, little decisions that ended up having big consequences later on. I mentioned boldness regrets, which is, if only I'd taken the chance. And those are huge for people, huge. Another really interesting category, you might hear this in your therapist's office. I heard it a lot in my online confessional was moral regrets, where people are at a juncture and they have a choice. They can do the right thing or do the wrong thing, and they do the wrong thing and it bothers them 10 years later, 20 years later, 30 years later. So on that, I had a lot of regrets about bullying earlier in life. Have you heard that in your office?
All the time. Somebody will say, when I was in the 3rd grade, I was mean to somebody, and they're 45 years old and they still feel really bad about that.
But isn't that interesting though? I mean, I had a lot of bullying regrets. Infidelity was a big one too. And I think in a weird way, these moral regrets, if only I'd done the right thing, in a weird way, I found them kind of heartening, because the fact that someone comes into your office and is still bugged by something they did 30 years ago, to me suggests most of us want to be good. We you know what I mean? That we want to do the right thing. And when we don't, it bothers us. I think that's in a weird way kind of ennobling. And then the final category huge category, connection regrets. Those are if only I had reached out. And those are about relationships of every kind, not only romantic relationships, which tend to get all the press, but relationships of parents and kids, of siblings, of other relatives, of friends, huge numbers of regrets about drifting apart from friends and not wanting to reach out, feeling like it's going to be awkward, feeling like the other side won't care, and drifting further. And so those 4 regrets, to me are very revealing about what we all want out of life.
It is, isn't it? And the thought that you did so much research and uncovered so many of the same things over and over again. What surprised you the most about the research that you did?
I think it was partly that very thing, that how universal some of these regrets were. I think that it surprised me. When I looked, I also did a quantitative piece of research where I did a survey and a public opinion survey of the U.S. population, and looking especially for demographic differences. And there weren't that many of them, actually. There's some differences based on age, which I mentioned before. A lot of the regrets have to do with different levels of opportunity. So in a sort of counterintuitive way that I think makes sense once you think about it, people with more formal education had more career regrets than people with less formal education. And
that's interesting.
So it sounds kind of weird. And then I thought about it. It's like, well, if you have more formal education, you have maybe more opportunities and therefore more foregone opportunities. So that was kind of interesting. But I think it's the universality of it, that in this giant database of 16,000 regrets, over and over and over again, the same things kept coming up.
So let me tell you about something else that comes up often in my therapy office. Yeah. And if you heard much of this, sometimes people will come in for treatment and they finally find something that works for them. Maybe they take an antidepressant or they discover that there are strategies that work. And then they're so upset that they didn't do it sooner and they regret it, because they'll say 20 years ago, if I would have known this existed, or if I would have just gotten help the first time somebody suggested it, I could have really enjoyed those last 20 years, yet I resisted it. Did you hear a lot of those kinds of regrets?
I did. And they're in the book. I mean, I heard a lot of those things. And on that one, again, my view is that we can use regret as something to help us move forward. That we can look backward, sort of let ourselves off the hook a little bit, disclose it to somebody else, draw a lesson from it, and apply that lesson going forward. That's a little bit of a tougher one.
All right, guys. Like I said, I put the link in there. I'm not going to look because it's still got like 20 more minutes. So we listened to it for about 10 minutes. And I thought that was useful information. Hello, Diane E. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well, honey. Thank you so much for being in here. All right, guys. So we're going to finish talking about it. I just like to, if I'm able to play some the podcast for a few minutes to let y'all hear like a different point of view. I think it's really good information. How can you stop thinking about regrets? It might seem like your brain is playing the regret song on repeat. You may compare yourself to friends and claim, I'd be rich now if I went to a better college. Or you play that what if game by saying, if only I didn't post that angry remark on Twitter, I wouldn't have lost my job. Y'all are making me hungry, daggone it. Shockwave started it. Pound cake with whipped cream and strawberries for dessert. Oh, Lord. Here are suggested ways to get out your head and overcome that cycle of regret, self-blame, and shame. And Shockwave said, can you make a request? Mama P.I. said, Becca, can I make a quick request? Absolutely, Mama P.I. Turn off rumination. Choose mindfulness. Take deep breaths. Meditate. Exercise. Start a new hobby. L'Oreal Healy, LCSW says, if thoughts turn into self-blame and are serving no purpose, it's important not to interrupt them, but we can train our minds to move on by distracting ourselves, meditating, talking to a friend, and bringing ourselves into the present moment. Shockwave, if you look at the bottom of the screen, my name is my name is Angel, but a lot of people call me Becca. But that's Becca's actually my name, but you can call me either one. Ways to move forward when you're feeling regretful. If you're feeling regret, here are some steps you can take to move forward. Have empathy for yourself. Let's say you dropped out of college to work so you could buy a car more quickly. Now you believe getting that college degree would have been a better choice. Maybe you've been feeling regret over this decision, feel like you're not on par with your peers. Hello, Joe. Good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Show yourself the same grace and empathy that would provide a loved one if they were feeling regretful about a past action. Put yourself in your younger self's shoes. Ask yourself questions about past choice. Did you do the best you could under the circumstances? Was your decision based on the maturity you had at the time? Answering these questions can help provide some insight into your decision. Remind yourself that people can only make decisions based on the information they have at the time. If you did the best you could with the knowledge you had, try not to beat yourself up about your decision. Joe, prayers, my friend. Prayers, my friend. That's all I could say, because I've had that. And the colonoscopy, I don't know if you've ever had a colonoscopy, but the colonoscopy itself is not terrible because you're asleep, but the prepping is horrendous. I wouldn't wish it on nobody. It's very, very bad. It's very bad. You got to drink all kinds of nasty stuff, and it's really bad. Oh, have you? Oh, bless your heart, honey. Have 6. So you know all about the prep that I'm talking about. It's terrible. Bless your heart. Thank you. Our family is really being tested right now and needs lots of prayers. Besides my nephew passing, my husband's had surgery Friday for colon, prostate, and kidney cancer. Oh, bless your heart, Mama P.I. Prayers, sweetheart. Prayers to you and your family. And I hope, that they can get rid of the cancer that your husband has. Did you say that he has it, or are they checking him for it? I apologize. My husband has surgery Friday for colon, prostate, and kidney cancer. Wow. Prayers, honey. Regret using many years of IT skills to prove to someone I'm not an idiot, but for the hurt it caused, I learned it wasn't worth the hurt and should have just walked away. Oh, Chris said that he's done it 6 times. Good Lord. See, y'all got me thinking, like, because I have stomach issues, and they said I have diverticulitis or something. I can't remember. But I'm probably going to have more in the future. And like I said, the procedure's not bad, but the prep is terrible. It's terrible. Bless your heart, Mama P.I. Cultivate self-compassion. Researchers at UC Berkeley conducted a study about self-compassion and regrets. Those participants who viewed their regrets with self-compassion felt they learned from their mistakes. With a positive adjustment, they were more motivated to improve themselves than the other groups. Cancer, I'm helping a friend through something like that. Keep your head up. And I've seen it work and not work. But the main thing is not to give up, and it's going to be very, very tough. My heart is with you. Oh my gosh, Mama Pi, bless your heart, sweetheart. She said they're convinced it definitely is, and that's why the surgery Friday, he's had all the tests. He's lost over 40 pounds and losing blood. Oh my goodness, honey. Prayers. You guys throw some prayer hands and lift Mama Pia and her family up in your prayers. Yes, and Criminal Mad, she's suffered with cancer too. I've had ulcers, kidney issues, and cancer, but I'm still here. Absolutely. Y'all stay strong, guys. Stay strong, absolutely, and keep the faith. Because miracles happen every day. And I don't try to throw religion on nobody because everybody's entitled to their own. But, miracles happen every day and prayers do work. So we will definitely be praying, honey. This person, I seen him lose weight to the point he was skin and bones, but now he's on the rebound of the edge of his life. It worked for now. Wow. Well, prayers. Oh my goodness, Joe. Bless your heart. Bless your heart, honey. You must have some severe stomach issues, hon. In this studies, researchers invited adults to write about their biggest regrets with kindness and self-compassion. Other participants were instructed to journal about their regrets and focus on their positive qualities as they related to self-esteem. The control group wrote about a hobby they enjoyed participating in. Bless your heart, Mama Pi. Oh, she said, I've had cervix and breast cancer. And Shockwave said, and I cried for the man, but we made it this far. And Criminal Med said, she's had 12. Wow. Bless your heart, honey. I thought that one was going to put me under, like I was scared to death, but the procedure itself went bad. It was just the prep you got to do is really a pain in the rear end, like literally. Those participants who viewed their regrets with self-compassion felt they learned from their mistakes and were more motivated to improve themselves than the other two groups. Oh my gosh, Joe. They found cancer in the appendix last year and precancerous growth where they cut off the appendix. So they removed part of my colon as well last year. Oh my goodness. So are they just doing another one just to kind of as a checkup to see if everything is good to go? Oh, bless your heart. Now, you didn't do chemo or nothing like that, did you, Joe? You probably have to take, a bunch of stomach medicine where they removed part of your colon. Wow. Bless your heart, honey. Forgive yourself. You're not letting yourself off the hook if you forgive yourself and let go of regret. Self-forgiveness involves separating your far from perfect actions from who you are as a person. By forgiving yourself, you're recognizing that you are a worthy person and that we all are because we're human. Now you have a semicolon. Oh my goodness. Steps you can take to cultivate self-forgiveness. Acknowledge the poor decision. Offer yourself compassion. Grieve. Learn the lesson. Repair or make amends. Release regret. Honey, you are not interfering with the show at all, sweetheart. This is all. Don't you say sorry, not one bit. We are all, we are all here to support one another and lift each other up. You did not interfere with my show at all, honey. I completely agree. Agree. I completely understand, Mama Pi. We'll just pray very hard, and hopefully the good Lord will remove all that and get your husband better. Absolutely. You are fine, honey. You did not interfere at all. Please don't ever think that. Because even though we're going over this information, this is still a supportive channel. So we support one another. And I love you, Mama P.I., and I'm here. Just send me a message. I'm phone call or a message away. Please keep us updated. Like I said, I'll definitely be praying. And I know that a lot of people will be praying, Absolutely. This is a supportive channel. This is mental health. This is well-being, motivation, encouragement, awareness, and support. So don't you ever think, sweetheart, that you are interfering with anything. That's what we are here for. Being a difference in somebody's life and, letting them know that they're not alone. So please, sweetheart, reach out. Please reach out. Okay, honey. Okay, sweetheart. It'll be okay. We're praying. I send hugs your way and love. Yes, absolutely, Criminal Med. I'd feel regret if you didn't feel you could tell us. Absolutely. I want people, and you guys have known me long enough to know that this is a safe place to be at. I want you guys to feel comfortable. I want you guys, if y'all have any requests, or if y'all have, want me to talk about anything, or if you just need a friend, I'll stop what I'm doing and we will be there for that person. I've always wanted that channel I wanted this channel to be like that. Lift each other up, be there for one another. This information I can stop. It's not no big deal. It's good information, but when somebody needs you, that's extremely important. And, to lift each other up and let them know that they're not alone in this world. That's what it's all about, guys. That's exactly what it's all about. And like I said, y'all know me well enough to know that this is all about support, motivation, encouragement, awareness. And of course, we have positive vibes, which is fine. And it's all good. But first and foremost, support one another. Let people know that they're not alone. So please, you guys, know that you're not alone in this world. I'm just little on me, but that doesn't mean that I can't be there for you guys. I might not understand what you're going through, but I can still be a friend and listen and be there for you and pray for you and lift you up. That's what it's about, guys. Being a difference in this world that we live in, and let people know how true you are and that you are, a person just like them. Just because I have this YouTube channel does not make me any different. I'm the same person that you hear, the same person that you see is the same that I am in real life. And that's the truth. That is so true. Thank you so much, Shockwave. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I might not understand what you're going through, but I don't care not one bit to listen, to be a friend, and try to, give you support and let you know that everything is eventually going to be all right, and that, you're not alone. Even though we have never met anybody in person, that doesn't mean anything. I want you guys to be comfortable in here. And Mama P.I. has been around pretty much since day one. So she knows how I am. And if you guys, don't know how I am, then y'all are eventually learning how I am. Because that's just that I'm just true as they come. And when I say, I'm there for you guys, I wholeheartedly am. So don't ever think that you're a burden or that you're interrupting or anything like that. Because that's what that's what I made this channel about. And then we just added karaoke and, trivia and stuff like that. But, please know that you're not alone. And when I say I love you guys, I really, truly do. You are like a second family, even the new people. Much love to y'all. And, I'm always about supporting one another and letting people know, it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to go through trials and tribulations, because I go through 'em myself. I'm not no better than nobody. But, that's why you can support each other. And if people message me or come to me, when I say that I'm there for you guys, I totally am. And I won't say nothing. Like, I'm not one of those people to judge, because I've been judged all my life. I won't say nothing unless you tell me it's okay. I'm not going to say anything, because that's just, when you trust somebody to talk to them and be there for them and support them, it sucks when you get stabbed in the back. And I've been stabbed in the back many, many times in my life. So, if you guys want to come to me, I'm here for y'all. I might not understand, but I can still be there for you and support you. And, and I won't tell a soul, not one single soul, what we talk about, because that ain't none of their business. So, it's just, I just want you guys to know that how important you guys are to me, how much you guys have helped me, because I suffer with so much mental health. It's crazy how much you guys have helped me. And, in return, I appreciate, I really, really, really appreciate you guys so much. Really do. I really do. Truly. Write about your regrets. You can try journaling or writing a letter to the person you hurt. You can also write a letter to yourself about your regrets. First, write in detail about the event and accept what happened. Then write about what you learned from it and what you can do differently in the future. Lastly, write about what could make this situation better now. Well, I appreciate that, Shockwave. Absolutely, Summer Thunder. She said, thanks for all the new and old friends that are coming in. Absolutely. Absolutely. When I welcome you guys with open arms. I want to be a difference in this world that we live in, guys. The more people come in here and feel comfortable, and I want them to be themselves. Kind of like, for example, I don't know if Mr. A, he's probably asleep, but Mr. I'm just using him as an example, and I will tell him I'm not saying nothing bad. But Mr. A, when he very first came up on, the panel to sing karaoke, Mr. A or Bradley, whichever he wants to go by, he covered his face with a mask. And, that was fine. If you want to do, if you want to and you feel comfortable, that is perfectly fine. But then our stream messed up one day, and we had a couple people up on panel, and my stream froze, so nobody in chat or nothing like that could see. And I said, well, Mr. A, just take off your mask. Well, by the time he took off his mask, the stream came back on. So everybody got to see him. And, now he feels comfortable. And he said and I want people to feel comfortable. Hello, Shore Girl. Good to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're well. But I just want people to know that this is a safe place. I want you guys to be yourself. I want you guys to be comfortable, support one another. That's what it's all about, guys. Exactly. If you think you're totally sane in this wacky world, you're crazy. Absolutely, honey. But if we can just be a difference in some people's life. Oh, Summer Thunder got a crush on Mr. A. But yeah, you guys, if you guys know how he was, very kind of timid to show his face. And I said, it's okay. I want you to be yourself. I'm just using him as an example because most of you guys have seen him up on panel. Now, Mr. On the weekends when we do karaoke. But like I said, for the longest time he wore the mask, and he was like he was comfortable that way, which was fine. But I was like, we're kind of curious what you look like, and then you could put the mask back on or whatever. Well, when everybody's seen him, he felt really comfortable, and he still feels comfortable. So I'm just using him as an example, and I'll let him know, Mr. A, I used you as an example, saying that, that you took your mask off, and I just, that just isn't a good example. When I try to make people feel as comfortable as possible here. And that's just a really good example, of Bradley or Mr. A or Nacho Libre or whatever we want to call him, or as Summer Thunder calls him, Bentley. So whatever. But anyway, I just want you guys to feel comfortable and be yourself. Let's see. Write about your regrets. You can try journaling or writing a letter to the person you hurt. You can also write a letter to yourself about your regrets. First, write in detail about an event and accept what happened. Then write about what you learned from it and what you can do differently in future. Lastly, write about what could make this situation better now. I fainted my first speech in speech class. I ended up a college professor. Wow, criminal mad. Regarding the last part, you can't go back in time, but maybe you could do something good now. As an example, that father who worked too much in those families isn't close now, or isn't close, could now volunteer with young kids at local boys and girls clubs. Seek mental health counseling if you've been obsessing about your regrets. This fixation can prevent you from healing. Consider counseling if you feel like you're unable to move forward. Mental health practitioners have a variety of therapies that might assist you, like we went over last week, guys. There is different forms of therapy or counseling. For example, congenital behavior therapy can help you disrupt negative thought patterns that are involved with regret. It can help you learn how to create more positive behaviors. A word from Very Well. If you're feeling regret over something from your past, no, you're not alone in feeling this way. Everyone has something or many things that they regret. However, there are ways to heal and move forward by showing yourself understanding. If that's too difficult, enlist the help of a mental health professional. A therapist can help you manage feelings of regret so they no longer hold you back. And then this one is the last one, guys. How to cope with regret. This is also from Very Well Mind. I just think I like using Very Well Mind and Psychology Today because it has really, really good information. And I like it because it's kind of like relates to normal human beings. Like it relates to people, you know, that go through this stuff and not just, you know, like this kind of goes over like everyday people, everyday living, not just a doctor or whatever, you know. Hold on just a second, guys. I like criminals. It says criminal med. It says turn it around by thinking a couple of things you've done that you felt you did great. Focus there to distract. Absolutely, honey. This is depression causes how to cope with regret. Yes, we love you, criminal med, honey. I still can't wait to see some more of your pictures. I don't know if you've painted any more pictures lately, but I love to see them because I love to show them. Hold on, guys. Let me exit out of this. Give me just a minute. There we go. Life is full of choices and paths not taken, so it isn't surprising that people sometimes feel regret over both the decisions they made and the ones they didn't. Regret can be an incredibly painful emotion. While rooted in the feelings of contrition, disappointment, guilt, or remorse for things that have happened in the past, such feelings can have a powerful influence over your life in the here and now. The problem is that when you are feeling regret over past choices or past mistakes, you might sometimes miss out on the joys of the present moment. Learn more about the power of regret, what causes it, and what you can do to cope. What is regret? I know it's going over a little bit of the same stuff, kind of what we went over earlier, but I'll still go over it. No, you're good, Shockwave. Regret is defined as an aversive emotion focused on the belief that some event from the past could have changed in order to produce a more desirable outcome. Yes, I can't wait to see them, Criminal Marriage. Yes, you've sent them to me in your email, honey. You also sent me your cancer video, and I shared it. This is months ago. Your paintings, your water paintings. Well, I'd love to see them, honey. It is the type of counterfactual thinking which involves imaging the ways of your life might have gone differently. Sometimes counterfactual thinking might mean appreciating your good luck at avoiding disaster, but at other times it focuses on being disappointed or regretful. Hold on a minute, guys. I got a little youngin' that won't go to bed. These youngins still think they could stay up all hours of the night when they're back in school. Characteristics of regret. It focuses on the past. It is negative adverse emotion. It focuses on aspects of the self. It leads to upward comparisons. It often involves self-blame. The reason why regret feels so awful is because by its nature it implies that there is something you could have done, some choice you could have made, or some action you might have taken that would have made something good happen or avoided something terrible. Yes, it is James. Yes. Actually, they're all still awake. Regret isn't just wishing events had gone differently. It also involves an inherent aspect of self-blame and even guilt. Regret is a difficult thing to feel, but some experts suggest it can also have a positive impact if you cope with it well and allow it to help you make better choices going forward. No regrets has become a popular mantra for many, signifying the idea that regret is a waste of time and energy. It's a worldview repeated in popular culture and touted by everyone from social media influencers to celebrities to self-help gurus. Oh, that's shocking because Tyler was just here. Just went past me for a minute. There's Rebel, guys. There's my Rebel. And according to psychologist Daniel Pink, author of The Power of Regret, what we just heard a few minutes ago, it is 100% wrong. He suggests that regret is not only perfectly normal, it can even be healthy. According to Pink, regret can act as a source of valuable information. When utilized well, it can guide, motivate, and inspire you to make better choices in the future. Tips for coping with regret. While you can't avoid regret, there are things you can do to minimize these feelings. Or take the negativity out of these things and turn your regrets into opportunities for growth and change. Criminal Med said, one has to remember that if things had gone differently, then nothing after that would be the same. Do you want to change all that? And Rebel said, we'll be going live tomorrow night to see pics and videos of Sunday's gender reveal, our beautiful grandbaby. I can't wait. I can't wait. Regret is most often characterized as a negative emotion, but it can serve an important function and even act as a positive force in your life at times. For example, regret can be motivating. It can drive you to overcome past mistakes or take action to correct them. Researchers also found that both experienced regret and anticipated regret can influence the decisions you make in the future. Efforts to avoid future regrets can help you make better decisions. No, it's not Papaw and Granny. It's Papaw and Nana, not Granny. Practice self-acceptance. Acknowledging and accepting what you are feeling is essential. When you accept yourself and what you're feeling, you're able to recognize that your value isn't defined by your mistakes or failures. Accepting yourself and your feelings does not mean you don't want to change things or do better. It just means that you're able to recognize that you are always learning, changing, and growing. Oh, yes. Sorry, guys. Yes, and a very special gift Hunter gave him. Yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. Our first grandbaby. Recap. Remind yourself that the events of the past don't determine your future, and you are capable of making better choices in the future. Or G Becca or G Angel. I'm going to go get it. I'm Nana, not Granny. I am going to go get the baby skill, and I ain't playing. Y'all hear him in the background. Ow! Forgive yourself because regret involves a component of guilt and self-recrimination. Finding ways to forgive yourself can help relieve some of the negative feelings associated with regret. Forgiving yourself involves making a deliberate choice to let go of the anger, resentment, or disappointment you feel about yourself. Oh, really, Shockwave? That's cool. Mama is Italian G-Mom? Really? That's cool. Accepting your mistakes is one part of this process. But forgiveness also requires you to practice self-compassion rather than punishing yourself for mistakes. Treat yourself with the same kindness and forgiveness that you would show a loved one. I will put his channel in Shockwave. Give me just a second. Let me throw that in real quick. Okay, hold on just a minute, guys. We actually have two. He actually has two channels. He has one channel, and then we have another channel. It's White Trash Family. Hold on just a second, and I'll get it because I'm right here. I will. This is Rebels. This is his original page where he does true crime. He talks true crime. He talks about like We the People type stuff. He's all about opinionate, people having opinions. And then this one is where if you guys heard me on the weekend talk about the bonfire before our karaoke, that's what this is. Where we play music every weekend, and it's a lot of fun. And you can also send in requests. Like if you want to request a song. And then here's the other one. And here's the White Trash family when we do the music on the weekends before the karaoke show. All righty. Well, then come in and say hello, Shockwave. You got to come in and say hello so we know you there. Accepting your mistakes is one part of the process, but forgiveness also requires you to practice self-compassion. Rather than punishing yourself for mistakes, treat yourself with the same kindness and forgiveness that you would show a loved one. Oh, it's at 6:30 p.m. Eastern every Friday and every Saturday. And then we have the karaoke between 9 p.m. Eastern or 9:30 p.m. Eastern every Friday, every Saturday. You can do this by taking responsibility for what happened, expressing remorse for your errors, and taking action to make amends. It'll be okay, Shockwave. Take one day at a time, my friend. You might not be able to change the past, but taking steps to do better in the future can help you forgive yourself and move forward instead of looking back. Apologize for mistakes. In addition to forgiving yourself, you may find it helpful to apologize to other people who may have also been affected. This can be particularly important if your regrets are centered on conflicts in relationships or other problems that have caused emotional distress and pain. A sincere apology can let the other person know that you're feeling remorse about what happened and that you empathize with their feelings. Take action. One way to help cope with feelings of regret is to use those experiences to fuel future action. Consider what you might have changed and done differently, but instead of ruminating over what cannot be changed, reframe it as a learning opportunity that will allow you to make better choices in the future. Yes, that's exactly right, Shockwave. Work on it one day at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, so just do your very best. You're going to have your good days and bad days, and then you'll eventually start to feel a little bit better. In reality, you may not have been capable of making a better choice in the past simply because you didn't have the knowledge, experience, or foresight to predict the outcome. You made the choice you did based on what you knew and then the tools and information you had at your disposal. Remind yourself that now that because of what you learned in the past, you now have the knowledge you need to make a better choice the next time you encounter a similar dilemma. Recap. Remember that the events of the past don't determine your future, and you are capable of making better choices in the future. Reframe it. Cognitive reframing is a strategy that can help you change your mindset and shift how you think about a situation. This approach can help you change your perspective, show compassion for yourself, and validate the emotions that you're feeling, and also help you to see situations in a more positive way and overcome some of the cognitive distortions that often play a role in negative thinking. Good night, Mama Pia, honey. We love you. We'll be praying for you. I hope, your family gets through the death of loss of a loved one. And then I hope that your husband does real well, and hopefully he is cancer free. We love you, Mama Pia. Please keep me updated, sweetheart. Please, please, please. We'll continue to pray. Keep the prayers rolling, honey. As Pink notes in his book, The Popular No Regrets Philosophy, isn't so much about denying regrets as it is about reframing it, or as he calls it, optimizing it. It is an acknowledgement that mistakes of the past have shaped who you are today. It's about reframing that regret and seeing it as a learning opportunity that helps build resistance and wisdom. It's not that you wouldn't change past decisions if you could. It's about recognizing that those choices helped you learn and can help you make better decisions in the future. Much love, Mama Pia. Have a good night, sweetheart, or try to. Recap. Changing how you think about things that have happened in the past can also help you see regret in a different way. Instead of dwelling on negative feelings, you can see it as information that can guide you going forward. What causes regret? Anytime you're required to make a choice, there's an opportunity for regret. Did you make the right decision? Could things have turned out better? Would you be happier if you chosen differently? Such regrets sometimes center on the mundane, like whether you should have had the soup or the sandwich for lunch, to life-altering, like whether you should have picked a different career or married a different partner. But what exactly causes people to regret some decisions and not others? According to researchers, opportunity itself plays a major role. If the decision was out of your hands or largely influenced by outside forces, you're less likely to feel regretful about what happened. The reason for this is that the process, such as cognitive dissonance and rationalization, kick in to unconsciously minimize your personal responsibility for the outcome. For example, if you buy an item knowing that you cannot return it, you're less likely to regret your purchase. According to researchers, people who often unconsciously suppress or distort many of life's daily regrets without even realizing that it is happening. It is when you have more opportunities to change your mind, such as when you know you can return an item and pick something different, that you are more likely to wish you had chosen differently. Researchers refer to this as the opportunity principle, which suggests that more opportunity leads to more regrets. Regret, control, and opportunity can play a role in whether or not you experience regret. When your ability to control that outcome is out of your hands, you may be less likely to regret your choice. But when many different options are present, you're more likely to regret your choice. What do people regret the most? In an older study published in 2008, researchers analyzed archival data to learn more about which areas are more likely to trigger feelings of regret. The results indicated that the 6 most common regrets were centered in the areas of education, career, romance, parenting, the self, and leisure. Beyond those top 6 regrets that centered on the topics of finance, family, health, friends, spirituality, and community. Interestingly, people are often more likely to regret inaction than action. For example, you're more likely to regret not choosing a certain career or not asking out someone you were interested in than to feel regret over the job and partner you did choose. Oh, thank you so much, Criminal Mad. Thank you so much, sweetheart. You did not have to do that. But thank you so much. And look, guys, I know it says membership, but look. Like, this is for you, Criminal Mad. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Much love to you. Absolutely. We don't regret. Absolutely. That's so sweet. Much love to you, honey. Thank you so much. You did not have to do that, but I appreciate you. The consequences of the actions you did take are set in stone and readily apparent, but the ones you didn't take seemed like boundless opportunities wasted. In other words, the perceived gains of the choices you didn't make seem to outweigh the actual consequences of your actions. So the sting of regret for missed opportunities looms much larger in your mind. Recap, and we're almost done, guys. Common regrets center on areas of the life including education, career, and romance. In addition to regretting choices, people often regret not taking certain actions in the past. Impact of regret. Regret can take both physical and emotional toll on your body and mind. Feelings of regret can often lead to physical symptoms such as muscle tension, sleep disturbances, changes in appetite, headaches, muscle pain, joint pain, and chronic stress. Studies have shown that persistent regret can increase your risk of problems with breathing issues, chest pain, joint pain, and poor overall health. Constantly ruminating on past regret can lead to symptoms such as anxiety, depression, poor self-esteem, helplessness, and feelings of hopelessness. Fear of future regret can also affect your behavior. Anticipated regret, or the belief that you will regret something in the future, can also play a role in risk-taking and health-related behaviors you engage in today. Hold on, guys. Click on it. Oh, there we go. When people think taking an action will lead to greater regret, they are less likely to engage in risky behavior. And when people think that that's not taking action will lead to feelings of regret, such as not taking care of their health or not engaging in regular exercise, they become more likely to take steps to avoid those anticipated regrets. Studies have also found that concern about anticipated regret can influence the decisions that people make on the behalf of others. When people are worried that people are going to be disappointed or regretful, they are more likely to make more conservative choices. Recap. Coping poorly with regret can lead to stress and emotional pain. It can also affect your future behavior. Anticipated regret often leads people to avoid risky behavior or engage in certain actions in order to avoid consequences that they might eventually regret. Takeaway: regret is an adversive emotion that can be difficult to overcome. Accept life, and you must accept regret, said the philosopher Henry Frederick Emil. While regret is an unavoidable consequence of living life and making choices, you can find ways to cope with these feelings and even turn them into opportunities for growth. Learning to accept your feelings, forgiving yourself for making mistakes, and taking steps to learn from your experience can help minimize many of the negative feelings associated with regret. While you may not truly be able to live life with no regrets, you can change how you think about the things you might have changed and learn to focus on the present moment instead of ruminating over the past. All right, guys, and that is all the information I have. Criminal Mad says, I don't believe you can really live without any regrets. It's more keeping them down and not wrecking your health, it seems. Absolutely. That's good information and a good opinion, Criminal Mad. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yes, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in here. You guys just don't know how much y'all mean to me. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. I always say this before I go. You never know what people are going through. You don't know what they went through in their life, what they're currently going through. Be kind to one another. Let people know that you're caring, you're a genuine person, and you're true. And, don't be no better than nobody, because nobody's better than nobody. But be a better person than you was yesterday. Be a difference in somebody's life. People always remember what you said to them and what you've done for them. So just be kind to one another, guys. Be kind to one another. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Rebels. I don't know what time he has it set up, but he said he's going to talk about our grandbaby and the gender reveal and the surprise that Henry got him. It's just going to make it just a fun live. So always, want to send you guys love, prayers, good vibes. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Rebels. And then I will see you guys Friday and Saturday on White Trash Family. And then Friday and Saturday over here for karaoke. So thank you guys so much. If you are watching the replay, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you thought about the information we went over. And if you guys, like I said, this is my channel, but it also is y'all's channel. So if y'all know of anything y'all would like me to cover or to sing or whatever, I want you guys to be involved as well. So y'all just don't hesitate to send my email, send me an email, not put it, just put it in chat. Or, get me hold of me on Facebook, or you can always leave a comment on a live, or let me know in chat. So you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you guys very soon. And thank you guys so much for coming in here. And if you guys would like to, you don't have to, just like Rebel said, if you guys would like to, leave a tip or support the channel, and it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. You don't have to, but it would really, really be appreciative. There's Cash App or PayPal scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Hello, Art Ghost Show. Good to see you, sweetheart. Refreshing, informative. Great work as always. Thank you so much, love. Thank you so much. It means so much to me, guys. Truly. I hope you are doing well. Haven't seen you in a while, but I understand the time difference. So thank you so much, love. I love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful night. And I will see you guys very soon. Like I said, if y'all are watching replay, please hit the like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know. And if there's any topics you guys want me to talk about, kind of like what we did tonight, please let me know. I don't care not one bit to go over something that you might be curious with, or you might want more information on, or just whatever. I want you guys to be comfortable in here and make this also, y'all's channel as well. So thank you guys so much, and I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Rebel said, see you tomorrow night. Yes, absolutely. So love you guys. Y'all have a wonderful one, and I will see you guys very soon. Love and peace and light to all, and God bless each and every one of you guys. Hugs and love. Have a wonderful night. See ya.